This lesson is going to be on how to complete ratio tables. A ratio table is just a way to organize equivalent ratios. We're going to look at what we're given and what's missing. My first missing spot is above the 12. So I'm going to look at the ratio that I have the x and the y for, which is 3 and 6. I know that to get from 6 to 12, I'm going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to do the same thing for the x values and do 3 times 2, which is 6. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the 15 and look at 3. And I know that 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm going to do the same thing for the y value, which is 6 times 5, which is 30. And the last one they gave us, but we could just see that the pattern still works, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 6 times 3 is 18. Now if we look at this next one, sometimes we can be given our ratios in fractions. It's still going to be the same idea. We're going to start with the x and the y that we have both for. So we have 1/2 and 1/3. So I'm going to go from 1/2 to 1/3. If I don't know what number I can multiply 1/2 by to get me to 1/3, I can work the opposite way to determine what number is being multiplied and divide. So 1/3 divided by 1/2 is equal to 2/3. So that means I'm multiplying by 2/3. So 1/2 times 2/3 is 1/3. So I'm going to do the same thing in the denominator here and multiply by 2/3. 1/3 times 2/3 is 2/9. Now for the next part of the table, I'm going to look at the y since I have the y in for both of them. So I'm going from 1/3 to 2/3. I know that 1/3 times 2 is 2/3, but if I was unsure, I could go the opposite way. 2/3 divided by 1/3 is equal to 2. So that means I'm multiplying by 2. So I can do 1/2 times 2 to get 1. And now for the last part of the table, I'm just going to go right from the 1. You don't always have to go from the beginning. You can work from any spot. So I know 1 times 2 is 2. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. 2/3 times 2 is going to give me 4/3. But I don't like having an improper fraction, so I'm going to change that to 1 and 1/3. And one more to look at. Same idea. We have fractions now. So I'm going from 4/5 to 1 and 1/5. I don't know what it is to multiply, so I'm going to go the opposite way and do my division to determine what I'm multiplying by. So 1 and 1/5 divided by 4/5 is equal to 1.5. So that means I'm multiplying by 1.5. So I'm going to multiply by 1.5 here as well. And when I do that, I get 1. Since I have 1 now, that makes my tables a lot easier to complete because I can do everything based off of the 1. I know 1 times 3/5 is equal to 3/5. So I'm going to multiply here by 3/5 as well too. So 1 1/5 times 3/5 is equal to, we'll do our multiplication out, so that's 6/5 times 3/5. That's equal to 18/25. And that's not an improper fraction, and it can't be reduced at all. And then the last one I'm going to do, here I know I'm multiplying by 1 1/2. So I'm going to do the same thing here as well. Multiply by 1 1/2. So this gives me 6/5 times 3/2. And that gives me 18/10, which is 1 8/10, or 1 4/5.